me back to my days at being a cook.
I wish I had a Bic.
Welcome back. Would you get to the punchline? Jesus!
Our house.
Should we sing?
You want to sing?
Our house is a very, very fine house.
That's dangerous.
That's good.
2 cats in the yard. Life used to be so hard. Okay, so I got to do a shout out. Are we on air now?
You've been on the air
Oh,
singing.
God. I hope people don't want me coming to their weddings. and
Lord
singing
Dwyer
for 'em.
Schleipke, ladies and gentlemen, with that fine rendition of Our House.
It's our theme song. 2
I
cats
wondered what
in
it
the yard.
was.
Uh-oh.
I wondered what all that was about.
Program director said it wasn't much of any good.
I've got to do a shout out to Gary Hess's office. Are you listening, Gary? So,
He better be.
yeah.
Raise the roof.
We had dinner with him, he and his wife, last night.
Well, what-
I
what
said
are
he
you-
should be
with-
piping this
Are you
through.
name dropping? Or?
With him and his wife.
No, I'm sorry. Bill.
He and his wife.
should-
He and his wife.
No,
and his
him.
wife. Him.
I had dinner with
With
him.
Gary and Sandy Hess, we had dinner with.
Okay.
And we also had a.
Is that supposed to mean? I mean,
No, but he's a dentist here in town, and
Okay.
I said he should be piping our show through his room there because they'd rather hear us than the drill.
I don't know how soothing that would be.
I think. Did you just hear her sing? That was soothing.
That'd give me a root canal.
So, Greg, how would people get a hold of us if they chose to call in? What's the number?
Probably the
787.
number we've been using for 30 years, 787-3397.
Yes.
Yes.
Is
Or they could
email.
email you at mark@thinkingrealestate.com.
If somebody had an inquiry of any sort.
Yes, exactly.
And this is a lifestyle show. It's not just a real estate
Right,
show.
right.
And Mark is my top sales agent.
Is he? I was just guessing.
After me.
I was just,
Wow.
I didn't see the numbers, but
Well,
I,
listen, hey, so we had dinner last night and with the Husses, and on Tuesday night after the city council meeting, we went to dinner at Bellanote. And
Restaurant.
what'd you have?
Restaurante. What did we have? Oh, we had a really nice fillet that was their special that night. But anyhow, there was a gentleman sitting.
How was it cooked?
There was a gentleman sitting at the bar, and of course we started a conversation with him. He's from California. He had flown into Madison, Wisconsin, and since he was so close to Ann Arbor, relatively close compared to where he's from, and he does event planning for the University of Michigan, so he was driving from Madison to Ann Arbor, and he stopped.
And he just happened to go to Bellanote,
He went-
and you just happened to be there.
I didn't know. We didn't know him, and he was hungry, so he pulled off. So I want to pass on. So we invited him to dinner last night. He thought that
So
was.
you picked him up in the bar, basically.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
I'm right with you, brother.
But it was very interesting. Had a great conversation, and so we were talking about. He mentioned it was kind of odd that right about 20 miles outside of Jackson, you start seeing billboards for massage therapy.
For the
Well, what's
And-
odd about that?
Well, apparently you don't see him in other spots on the highway. And then he was disappointed we didn't have signs going from downtown showing you how to get back to the highway.
well, you go back the way you came.
And the funny part was well, I think when you get into a city, you might forget how you got there. But the funny part is when he found his way downtown,
He didn't have a tom-tom?
I don't know. You guys are distracting. He went into Dr. Don's. He didn't know what kind of place it was.
Was he looking for a dentist?
I'm not sure I'm buying this story.
He did, and so
No, come on.
Seriously, he thought it was just a bar, and all he just wanted some food. When he walked in, he obviously
What
realized
happened?
what it was. He turned around and
What
went over.
happened?
He went across the street to Bellanote.
So, before he went to Bellanote, he went to Dr. Don's. Okay.
So
That's
that's
it?
my story. I thought that was kind of exciting. He was a really nice guy out of California, doing an event planner for the University of Michigan.
And did he like Bellanote?
Yeah, he did. He did like Bellanote. Who wouldn't like Bellanote?
I still can't wrap my head around the fact that he ended up at Dr. Don's.
It's that yellow sign.
It's that yellow sign. And
Is
even the
that it?
Hesses said that you don't know that it's a, I mean, they know what it is, but you don't know that. The sign doesn't say it's a,
Yeah.
Well, they
A
used
specialty
to.
club.
Well,
for lack of another term on a
they used to
family
have those
show.
silhouettes. They made them get rid of it, didn't
Well,
they?
and I don't know.
We'll have to call the good doctor.
I have never been in there, so.
Well, okay.
Okay.
Boy, this
And
show has hit an all-time low.
I thought that was interesting. Someone from California wandered into the city of Jackson for dinner.
And you
and
jumped
then
all
wandered
over him.
back out and headed over to Ann Arbor.
Hurricane Laura heading.
He was,
Hey, there's somebody.
He
That
was,
guy looks like he's from
You're not
California.
from here, are you?
he actually started the conversation with Bill.
Oh, did he? Okay.
So,
Well, there you
We're
I
go.
was
just-
talking to someone else in
We're
the
just kidding.
restaurant.
So Greg, I have a question for you.
Yes.
This came up in the office yesterday, and I was, in the words of Phil Morgan, dumbfounded.
Yes.
That's his favorite word.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
I'll have to call him and see if that's what he says.
Laura said that more than one person has said to her that they think that we're saying sinking real estate when we're saying thinking real estate.
Thinking.
Sinking with an S instead of TH.
I don't know how you could confuse that, but
Well, I was confused. I
okay.
didn't get it.
Well, it is thinking.
I hear
TH.
crickets.
TH.
So what is it you would like?
Well, I don't know. That's the question: is do
'Cause
people
we're in
think
the-
we're saying sinking real estate?
I
Have you
don't.
ever heard that?
No, I've never heard that.
Because we're in the stage right now that our
Is it sinking?
no
No, it's challenging, but it's not sinking.
no.
Well, I think every business is challenging at this point.
Yes.
Agreed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably true.
But
If
my
it were
question-
easy, more people would be in it.
You know, our franchise agreement is coming up for renewal at the end of October, and we're considering not renewing the Prudential franchise. And I have said, and I think Laura agrees with me, that we're thinking real estate is our name, and I don't want to call it that if people think it's sinking.
So
I
what would you
would
like
agree.
people to do?
I would
Email?
agree with you. I would be concerned.
Well,
Usually I would hear that.
I
Well,
love-
I have
Somebody
not
would say
heard
that
from
to you?
one person.
well
Maybe-
it was a surprise to me yesterday.
And
as well.
Jackie's heard it too.
Because
so
it's
it's
not-
not just me. But Jackie and I
Well,
sounded
but
like, so
okay,
maybe
you
it's
started
our
out this
accent.
conversation, and I love your mother. I'm going to preface everything I'm saying by.
Was that your mom that
I
heard
love
that?
Aunt
My
Barnett.
mom said that to me.
Sinking?
Yeah.
Okay.
But other people have too, so.
How many?
At least 3.
Really?
Yeah. I wouldn't lie to you.
Besides your mother?
Yeah,
So
oh
there
yeah,
are
oh yeah.
4.
Yes.
Are they all related to you?
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't.
So what would you like people
I like
to
thinking real estate.
I do too.
Yeah.
do? Okay. Well, email Mark with our listeners, our wonderful listeners. Please email Mark with your thoughts
On a
on
name.
thinking.
Right.
Thinking real estate.
Maybe we should have a contest.
Or a name of a real estate company.
So are you thinking of like going independent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that okay?
That's fine with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't do it if you didn't think it was a good idea.
Well, I don't know anything about Prudential.
Well, it's a good franchise.
Is it?
Yeah. But when you do the math,
It's challenging.
it's all about the math.
So I guess we should talk real estate.
Okay.
I read in the USA Today that the home aid program won't hit its target of helping 30,000 people. There was a $1 billion federal dollars set aside to help people keep their homes.
They
And
probably didn't spend it there.
it was half as successful as they had hoped that it would be.
I wonder why.
My guess is that they made it so cumbersome that either the banks who were working with these people to keep their homes didn't understand the project, or it was just cumbersome.
Now I'm finding that people that are behind in their payment decide not to open their mail when they get stuff from their lender, which is the wrong thing to do because there's a letter in there that says if you call us within 14 days, we'll work with you, and that gives you another 90 days before the foreclosure
Kicks
sale. Yeah. So that's an additional 90 days on top of the 6 months that you'll have in the redemption period. So people need to open their mail because that 90 days is really crucial.
in. Just because you don't open your mail,
You will lose, they will not
that
come
doesn't.
back and say, oh, I'm sorry, you didn't open your mail. Let's do the 90 days.
Let's
No,
give you
they'll
another
say, yeah, they'll
12
say,
years.
too bad you didn't open your mail. And then we're also seeing, I had an agent tell me that Wells Fargo approved for one of their clients to do a land contract.
Really?
That's a little bit different.
That's good news.
And then I have a client who is
In
selling.
writing?
I didn't ask him, but I have a client who has a Wells Fargo mortgage, and we sold the property on a land contract, actually got it back, got a quitclaim deed, recorded the quitclaim deed, and I don't know, Blackman Township notified the Wells Fargo for some reason, but my seller pays the property taxes, and Wells Fargo doesn't understand the fact that Michigan, with a land contract, you don't give the deed until after the property is paid for in full. So they had sent a letter to my seller that said, don't give a deed or we'll call the mortgage due.
Wells Fargo's pretty big not to understand that.
Well, every state has its,
Quirks.
Well, yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So-
they should know about every quirk, shouldn't they?
Well, you would think that
Wells Fargo?
they'd go to Michigan and say, they should have a book or something that says, here's
A
what
chart.
you're doing.
Where are they? About the
Michigan.
third biggest?
Wells? That's a good question. I would say that they're right up there. Excuse me.
Certainly in the top 5, aren't
They're
they?
in the top 5.
Okay.
Up there with Bank of America and Chase.
Wasn't that a
Citigroup?
question
And
that you asked
Citigroup.
a couple weeks ago?
Yeah. So they're certainly in the top 5. And my seller sent me the letter, but I haven't had a chance to read it yet. Because we
How
have
did they
now
know? How
resold
did
that
they know?
house. I don't know. Well, Blackman Townships, but the seller pays their own property taxes, so I'm not sure. Maybe it wasn't. He said it was Blackman Township, but I don't know that for sure. You know how people can misunderstand things.
Wells Fargo's the one that I had to call the president of the mortgage company to get a short sale done.
Jackie, how are?
I was not happy.
I just started working with Wells Fargo. I don't know.
Oh, so we're just doing our first one. But anyhow,
I Facebook stalked them. That'll teach them. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to get houses sold in this market, Greg.
and we'll
Have you
do
done
it.
that, Laura?
I have been meeting people that I say, oh, I see your name on LinkedIn or Facebook or just like Jason Schmoody when I visited Anna's yesterday and contributed to the economy. I said, didn't I see somewhere that you got married? And in fact, I have seen that on Facebook for some. And I don't read a lot of the Facebook stuff. It just happens when I'm on. I read the top one. It might have been the top one. So I think it's kind of handy, that social media stuff, to understand what people at your
Are there
Your
buyers?
peeps are doing.
Buyers out there, Mark?
You know, I have.
there are buyers out there. They're good. They're fewer, and there's better buyers.
I did an open house on Sunday, and I think 5 of the 6 people were neighbors, and which is fine. You know,
Well, they want to see what's.
well, that's yeah, that's
They're
fine.
nosy.
Yeah,
Right.
I did have a couple of buyers come through, and we've actually had 2 showings on the house this week, and it's been sitting. So
Where was that one? Brown
Horton
Street?
Road.
Horton Road. Okay. Well, I had a open house, and we had 3 people, 2 of which were neighbors. One who has their house on the market already, and then a buyer who's working with another realtor.
So were they buyers or were they
I
like
think
doing
she's a buyer. Yeah, I think.
comparables?
And knowing the other realtor that she's working with, that realtor does a good job, so I'm sure she was a buyer.
Did she buy?
I should have bought my place, that listing yet.
Are you doing any open houses this weekend?
I am. I've got one at 409 Garfield, which is a nice house. It's listed, it's a short sale. It's from 1 to 2 o'clock and $37,000. And then 4524 Leeward, a nice 2-story house with a pool. And I think that has access to Pleasant Lake. That's from 2:30 to 3:30, and that's a short sale.
That's a nice house. It's got a great pool.
Yeah, that's, well, she's meticulous. And that's at 125, 325. So buyers, come on out. I thought we had an offer on that, Leeward. Must have. Buyers get tired of waiting in short sales. So there was a lot of interest in that house until we had that offer. Anyhow, so what would you look for if you're gonna list your house with a realtor? What do you think they should be looking for?
Somebody that does this full time.
Oh, good point. Are there any part-timers in the business right now?
I don't know.
Probably not many.
Not many.
It really got weeded out over the last few years.
Which I think is a good thing because the people who are in it are more knowledgeable, for the most part.
Yeah.
There's a few people I might not like doing deals with,
You know,
but for the
what
most
I
part-
find interesting are the people that are getting into it that are new, don't know anything other than this marketplace, and so their mindset. I think it's really great that somebody can come into this in this economy, brand new, and do well. And I think that it just goes to show you that we all need to adapt and change.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big deal.
Well, I had a call from an agent in the Kalamazoo area who his wife used to work for my husband actually, and he had just got into the real estate business 3 months ago. And I said, "Well, how's it going for you?" And he said, "Not good, but he's learning. He has to learn how to." He was dealing with someone out of Ohio who wanted lakefront and only wanted to pay $125,000 for lakefront.
How'd that work out?
He referred him to me, and I.
And how'd that work out for you?
I have not. I just got the email yesterday, so I haven't had a chance to.
I did see a
follow.
house close on Lake Columbia this week for under $200,000.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think people are unrealistic though if they think they can get a decent lakefront house for under $125,000. Don't you think that's
Yeah.
unrealistic?
Mhm.
I mean, there's some. I have a great channel front one on Wolf Lake, and I mean you can see the lake. It's really a nice view for $115,000, but. And I think Wolf Lake has some lower price properties on there, but they're 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom cottages. That's what they are.
Martin, besides the economy, what's different about selling a house for you, from your perspective, now than, say, 10 years ago?
Well, you would think that it would be easy for people to find a house, and I actually have spent a great deal of time with some sellers who are trying to buy a place too right now. And we have gone out looking for specific types of homes, and they're just not there. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, must-haves, a handful that are in good shape.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think buyers are pickier.
Are they more
And
knowledgeable?
if they don't, and they'll just move on. They're realistic. I think they are more knowledgeable.
They are more knowledgeable because they will have done their research on what's out there. But their expectation is, I want a low price and I want the house perfect. Or they're buying a foreclosure and they want a low price and they don't expect it to be perfect there. And then the sellers don't know whether to fix up the house and price it high and come down and make the buyers feel like they've,
I don't think they can price it high.
well, but that's the thought process, is make the buyer feel like they really got a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
Most
No.
of them want to sell as is, or
Not necessarily. I think a lot of people are willing to,
They just have to
To
make it. The
renovate it.
sellers just have to make their house stand out,
right.
and
And I think that's important in an agent to tell. In fact, the listing I just got on Herkimer said, you did such a great job with my brother's house in telling them what they needed to do. I knew I was going to list my property with you. Because they knew I'd tell them what they were going to need to do.
like pick up the clothes off the floor,
Little things.
little things.
Yeah.
I'm doing an open house Sunday.
Are you wearing?
1323 Park Road, which is near Harding. It's a great brick
How much?
10
Nice little area.
109999.
What time are you doing the open?
12 to 2, because that's what the sign that I had printed says.
Yeah,
Somebody stole my 1 to 3 sign, so I'm
So
doing
you
a
could
12
do
to 2.
You could get another
You know,
sign.
that brings up another point.
Do you have refreshments?
No.
No.
You know,
well,
we
for me,
had
I usually pick up a coffee on my way
yeah.
there, but
My cellar at Clarewood had homemade cookies, and no one but me ate any.
people,
They were good,
and that's
too.
funny. People ask.
Feel free to
sometimes-
bring the leftovers into this shop.
Oh, okay. I didn't even. They'd have been stale because it's Sunday to
Oh,
Thursday.
that won't bother anybody in this
Really?
building. No.
Okay. Dunk it in the coffee. It unstales it, right?
Exactly. But it's expensive to have people steal your signs, and it's a pain in the neck. By the way,
Right.
so don't
So
do
you
it.
just have.
All those signs.
What do you have? One sign? And,
No, I have a bunch of them, but they're over the course of a few years, people take them.
yeah.
So
I don't know what they do with them.
yeah, why would somebody want a sign that says "Open Sunday 1 to 3"?
Well, they'll take anything that's not firmly attached to
Maybe
the
it's one of
planet.
those new realtors.
For more, call
780.
3800.
Yeah, we could do.
ThinkingRealestate.com.
Not sinking.
Now, is the
That's-
phone
yeah.
ringing?
Yeah, but we're out of time.
Oh, okay.